Can you imagine going on a trip where you leave the everyday world behind? This channel is all about unforgettable escapes. Can you see yourself wandering through emerald valleys past thundering falls with stars dancing above? The entire time you'll feel thrilled, connected like the Earth's heartbeat syncs with yours. New Zealand's adventure starts now. Come along. We're not here to bore you with a snooze-fest travel rundown though. No chance. We're hurling you into the wildest challenge we've ever dreamed up. Can we take you through the most mind-blowing New Zealand adventure ever, and unveil a secret so unreal that locals do their darndest to keep it hidden? Stick with us, because every second of this journey is going to ramp up the insanity. We'll start with some bonkers facts to light a fire under you, then pull you through the absolute best spots this country has to offer, from the misty, cliff-lined fjords of the South Island, to the sun-soaked, island-studded bays up north. And here's something that'll interest you. Stay until the final moment because we're dropping the exact location of a hidden New Zealand wonder you won't find in any tourist guide, complete with coordinates so you can hunt it down yourself. Picture stumbling onto a place so magical it'll sear itself into your memory forever. Ready to leap in? Hey friends, it's great to see you on our travel channel, thank you. Now push that subscribe button, smack the bell so you don't miss a thing, and let's blast off into the wildest New Zealand trip you've ever pictured. Before we catapult you into this epic ride, let's fire you up with some facts about New Zealand that'll leave you reeling with disbelief. Step back to 1893. You're sitting in a creaky wooden hall, the air buzzing with excitement as New Zealand becomes the first nation on Earth to declare that women can vote. The walls practically hum with the triumph of that moment, a bold streak of progress that still courses through this country's veins today. Now, fast forward to the present. You're trekking through a forest where ancient trees stretch their gnarled branches skyward, the ground carpeted with moss and fallen leaves that crunch softly underfoot. No wolves howl or deer rustle here, only bats flit through the twilight, tiny shadows against the fading light, because New Zealand has no native land mammals except them. Birds reign supreme instead, their calls weaving through the air like a natural symphony. You're gazing out over rolling hills, their green slopes glowing under a vast, cloud-streaked sky, and everywhere you look, sheep dot the landscape. 6 for every person, their woolly forms grazing peacefully. The breeze carrying the earthy tang of fleece mixed with the fresh, damp scent of grass after a morning shower. Then the ground quivers faintly beneath your boots, a subtle tremor that sends a thrill up your spine. You're planted on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a restless belt where tectonic plates grind and clash, birthing volcanoes that loom in the distance, their peaks shrouded in swirling mist, and geothermal pools that bubble up across the land, their steam curling upward in ghostly tendrils. In places like Rotorua, the earth hisses with heat, the air thick with the sharp, pungent sting of sulfur, a raw reminder of the fiery forces simmering below the surface. Now just imagine. You're standing amid jagged mountains that stab the heavens, golden plains that shimmer in the sunlight like a sea of amber, and misty valleys cradling rivers that twist through the earth in silver threads. These are the living, breathing landscapes of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, filmed right here in New Zealand, transforming fantasy into a tangible, awe-inspiring reality that pulls you in with every sweeping vista. These facts are just the spark to ignite your curiosity. Let's dive headlong into the real adventure now. You kick off your journey in Milford Sound, a fjord so stunning it's been dubbed the 8th wonder of the world by those who've witnessed its glory. You're stepping onto a weathered wooden boat, the deck swaying gently beneath your feet as a crisp, salty breeze sweeps in from the water, tugging at your hair and carrying the faint briny scent of the sea. The fjord unfurls around you, a serene expanse of glassy, crystal-clear water hemmed in by cliffs that rise sheer and imposing from the sea's edge, their gray, rugged faces towering over 4,000 feet or 1,200 meters high. These cliffs are a testament to millions of years of glacial sculpting, their surfaces streaked with patches of green moss and lichen that cling stubbornly to the rock, while wisps of cloud snag on their jagged peaks, softening their edges against a sky that shifts from blue to gray with the whims of the weather. The water beneath you is a deep, reflective blue, so still it mirrors the cliffs in perfect detail, broken only by the gentle ripples trailing your boat's wake, shimmering like liquid glass under the sunlight. You're gliding forward when Sterling Falls comes into view on your left, a thundering cascade of water plunging from a dizzying height, its roar reverberating off the stone walls and sending up a fine mist that dances in the air, catching the light in fleeting rainbows. Further along, Bowen Falls emerges, even taller and more commanding, its relentless stream crashing into the fjord below, the spray dusting your face with cool, refreshing droplets as you lean over the railing to soak in the sight. You're scanning the water as dolphins slice through the surface, their sleek bodies arcing gracefully as they play in the boat's wake, their fins glinting in the muted light. Along the rocky shores, New Zealand fur seals sprawl across sun-warmed boulders, their dark fur slick with seawater, basking lazily in the fleeting warmth. With luck, you spot a Fiordland-crested penguin waddling across the rocks, its bright yellow eyebrows a vivid splash against the muted tones of the coast. A rare and quirky sight in this wild domain. You're lacing up your hiking boots now, setting out on the famous Milford Track, one of New Zealand's great walks. The trail winds through dense forest, the air heavy with the damp, earthy scent of moss and the sweet musk of rotting wood, as waterfalls tumble beside you, their spray a refreshing kiss on your skin, the sound of rushing water blending with the rustle of leaves overhead. This is nature in its purest, most untamed form, and it's only the beginning. You roll into Queenstown, the adventure capital of the world, cradled by the jagged southern Alps and the shimmering turquoise expanse of Lake Wakatipu, its waters reflecting the sky like a polished mirror. The town pulses with life, its narrow streets lined with rustic stone buildings and gear shops stacked with ropes and skis. Cozy cafes abound that spill the rich roasted aroma of coffee into the crisp mountain air, mingling with the faint scent of pine, drifting down from the surrounding slopes. The mountains rise sharply behind, their peaks dusted with snow even in summer, glowing a soft pink as the sun rises over the water. You're standing on the Kawarau Bridge, a historic wooden span stretching over a rushing river below, where commercial bungee jumping kicked off back in 1988, forever cementing its place in thrill-seeking lore. You're peering over the edge, the water a vivid turquoise that churns over smooth rocks and swirls in frothy eddies far beneath you, the sound of its flow a steady roar in your ears. You strap into a harness, the cord snug and taut against your waist, and feel your heart hammering against your ribs as you inch to the platform's brink, the wind tugging at your clothes with a playful insistence. You leap, the air screaming past your ears as you plummet toward the river, the world blurring into streaks of color, green hills, blue water, gray rock, until the bungee yanks you back with a jolt, leaving you dangling mid-air, breathless and laughing above the frothy surface, the adrenaline surging through your veins like wildfire. You're climbing into a shot-over jet boat next, settling into your seat as the engine growls to life, a low rumble that vibrates through the hull. You're speeding through tight, twisting canyons, the rocky walls towering on either side, their surfaces rough with orange lichen and streaked with mineral stains from ancient water flows that have carved this rugged passage over centuries. The boat skims the water's surface, then spins a full 360 degrees, flinging icy droplets across your face, the cold sting waking every nerve as you grip the heated rail, your knuckles whitening with the thrill. Winter rolls in, and you're strapping on skis at Coronet Peak, the snow beneath your boots crisp and powdery, crunching with each step as you carve down slopes that stretch out beneath a sky of endless gray, the jagged spines of the Remarkables mountain range looming in the distance, their peaks dusted white even against the muted light. Summer flips the script, and you're pedaling a mountain bike along trails that wind through dense pine forests, the air warm and thick with the resinous scent of needles baking under the sun, the ground a tapestry of roots and dirt beneath your tires. Or you're soaring on a paraglider launching from a grassy ridge as the wind catches your chute, lifting you high above the lake, its waters a glittering blue jewel far below, the town shrinking to a speck against the vast alpine expanse as you drift on currents that whisper through the peaks. Queenstown's relentless energy is a rush that sets the tone for what's ahead. You pull into the Catlins, a wild, windswept stretch along the South Island's southeast coast, where nature unveils its strangest and most captivating quirks. You're standing before Purakanui Falls, a stunning three-tiered waterfall spilling over moss-covered cliffs into a clear, rippling pool below, the water glinting as it drops, each level framed by dense bush that hums with the trilling calls of tui birds, their feathers flashing iridescent green and bronze in the dappled sunlight filtering through the canopy. Now you're wandering the rocky shore at Curio Bay. As the tide recedes, it unveils a petrified forest locked in stone for 180 million years. This was a Jurassic jungle once, thriving before dinosaurs roamed, and now the waves crash against it, a steady drumbeat echoing across the beach. You're scanning the horizon as Hector's dolphins shimmer and dart through the surf, their small, rounded fins cutting the water. You're stepping into Cathedral Caves next, the entrance yawning open only at low tide, revealing a cavernous expanse where the walls soar 100 feet or 30 meters high, their surfaces slick with seawater and patched with clinging seaweed that drips with moisture. The ocean surges inside, its roar amplified into a deep, resonant boom that echoes off the rock, vibrating through your chest as you wade through shallow pools, the cold water swirling around your ankles and soaking into your shoes, the shadows stretching endlessly ahead into the cave's dark heart. The Catlins are a rugged, untamed pocket of the world, a treasure trove of natural oddities that pulse with ancient mystery, drawing you deeper into their wild embrace. You arrive at Mount Cook National Park, a sprawling wilderness where New Zealand's tallest peak, Aoraki, rises 12,200 feet or 3,724 meters into the sky, dominating a landscape of ice and stone that spans over 173,000 acres, or 70,000 hectares. The air bites with a sharp alpine chill, carrying the faint scent of snow that clings to the peaks year-round, a crispness that fills your lungs as you take it in. You're hiking the Hooker Valley Track, as you wind past braided rivers, their waters threading through the valley in shimmering silver strands. You're crossing rickety swing bridges, the wooden slats creaking as they sway over rushing streams, and you reach Hooker Glacier Lake. Its milky surface is dotted with icebergs, their jagged edges glowing white against the pale blue water, drifting slowly in the stillness. You're standing at the shore, Mount Cook's massive, snow-clad form filling the horizon, its peak stabbing through the clouds, a monument to the raw, geological power that forged this land over millions of years. You're exploring Tasman Glacier next, the country's longest at 17 miles or 27 kilometers, a sprawling river of ice that snakes down from the highlands, through a valley carved by ancient forces. You're stepping onto its frozen surface, crampons biting into the ice as you navigate a maze of crevasses and ridges, their walls glowing a faint blue in the dim light, the cold seeping through your gloves as you brush against the frost-dusted edges. Or, you're gliding across the terminal lake in a boat, as icebergs tower overhead, their whites and blues radiant in the sunlight. The park's scale is overwhelming, a testament to millions of years of geological upheaval, and you're right in the heart of it. You roll up to Lake Tekapo and the water hits you with a turquoise so vivid it seems to glow from within. You're wading in, the chill prickling your legs, and discovering its glacial flower, tiny rock particles ground by ice over eons that scatters sunlight to create this unearthly hue. The lake stretches wide, its surface rippling gently under a breeze that carries the faint, sweet scent of lupins blooming along the shore in purples and pinks. Snow-dusted mountains rise in the distance, their peaks sharp against a sky that shifts from blue to gold as the day wears on, while golden tussock grass fringes the water's edge, rustling softly. You're strolling to the Church of the Good Shepherd, a small stone chapel perched on the bank, its walls weathered by decades of wind and rain. You step inside, the air cool and still, and gaze through the altar window at the lake framed by the rugged peaks beyond, a scene so pristine it feels like a painting come to life. Night creeps in, and you're sprawled on a grassy hill, a blanket beneath you as the sky ignites with stars. This is part of a UNESCO dark sky reserve, where light pollution vanishes, leaving the heavens bare and brilliant. The Milky Way unfurls above, a dense band of light that seems to pulse, its reflection shimmering faintly on the lake's calm, glassy surface, a mirror to the cosmos. You're climbing to Mount John Observatory, the path steep and rocky underfoot, the air crisp with the scent of pine from nearby trees, and the earthy bite of dust kicked up by your boots. You peer through massive telescopes, the lenses revealing swirling galaxies, star clusters twinkling like scattered jewels, and nebulae glowing in soft pinks and blues, a cosmic spectacle that stretches your sense of wonder to the limit. You're at Franz Josef and Fox Glaciers now, where ice flows down from the towering southern Alps into the lush, dripping embrace of rainforest, a surreal collision of extremes that defies all logic. You're hiking Franz Josef, crampons gripping the ice as you traverse a frozen world of blue fissures and towering seracs, the surface crunching beneath your boots like brittle glass, the sound sharp in the still air. You're watching meltwater trickle past in streams that gleam in the sunlight, carving winding paths through the ice as they rush toward the valley below, their flow a steady hum against the silence. You're lifting off in a helicopter, the blades whirring as you soar over Fox Glacier's 13-kilometer stretch, its icy expanse winding through the mountains like a frozen river, its surface a patchwork of white and blue framed by the green forest that spills down the slopes below, a vivid contrast of life and cold. You're landing on the ice, stepping out into a silence pierced only by the slow drip of melting snow, the air sharp and cold with the faint mineral tang of frost that stings your nostrils as you breathe it in, the vastness of the glacier stretching out around you like a frozen sea. You're wandering to Lake Matheson afterward, a short trek through forest where the ground is soft with moss, and the air heavy with the damp green scent of leaves. The lake's glassy surface unfolds before you, a perfect mirror reflecting Mount Cook and the surrounding peaks in flawless symmetry, their snowy crowns and rocky spines doubled in the still water. The scene is framed by trees dripping with moss, their branches heavy and swaying gently in the breeze, and you're snapping photos of the reflection, so clear it's hard to tell sky from lake. The scene is framed by the rustle of leaves and the distant call of a bellbird, the tranquility a stark and beautiful counterpoint to the glacier's raw, icy power. You hit Abel Tasman National Park, a sunlit haven where golden beaches kiss emerald forests along the northern edge of the Tasman Sea. You're paddling a kayak, the water cool and silky against your hands as you glide past granite cliffs that plunge into the sea, their surfaces weathered by centuries of waves into smooth, rounded shapes streaked with veins of quartz that catch the light. The coastline curves endlessly ahead, dotted with sandy coves that glow under the sun, their grains fine and warm beneath your toes when you pull ashore, the sand squeaking softly with each step. You're hiking the coast track now, the trail weaving through native bush thick with towering podocarps and sprawling ferns, their fronds brushing your arms as you pass, the air alive with the salty tang of the sea and the sweet resinous scent of manuka blossoms that bloom in delicate clusters along the path. You reach a lookout perched high above the shore, the ocean sprawling below in a vast expanse of deep blue flecked with whitecaps, its waves crashing against rocky outcrops in a frothy white dance that stretches to the horizon, the sound a steady roar that fills the silence. You're swimming in a secluded bay, the water clear and warm as it laps against your skin, the taste of salt lingering on your lips as you float beneath a sky streaked with wispy clouds, the park's wild beauty wrapping around you like a sun-warmed embrace. You arrive in Wellington. This is New Zealand's vibrant capital, nestled between steep forested hills and a windswept harbor that glints under the sun. The city buzzes with life, its streets a lively mix of colorful Victorian houses perched precariously on slopes, their wooden frames weathered by salt air, and sleek modern buildings that gleam with glass and steel, the scent of roasted coffee wafting from bustling cafes that line the corners. You're stepping into Tekapo Museum, roaming through cavernous halls where Maori carvings loom with dark, intricate patterns etched into aged wood, their curves telling stories of ancestors and spirits, while fossils of long-extinct moa birds tower over displays of shimmering shells and volcanic rocks, the air thick with the musty scent of history and the faint hum of the building's quiet energy. You're climbing aboard the Wellington cable car, the red carriage rattling as it ascends from the bustling downtown to Kelburn, the harbor shrinking below into a mosaic of blue water and green hillsides, the wind whipping your hair as it rushes through the open windows carrying the briny tang of the sea. You're strolling the botanic gardens at the top, paths winding through rose beds in full bloom, their petals soft and fragrant under your fingers, and exotic trees with gnarled trunks that twist toward the sky, the air heavy with floral sweetness, and the earthy musk of damp soil, as you settle on a bench overlooking the city's twinkling lights, their glow reflecting off the water far below. You're wandering the waterfront now, the harbor lapping against the docks. With a rhythmic slap, gulls wheeling overhead with piercing cries as you pass rows of seafood stalls, the air rich with the scent of grilled fish and salt. Your shoes scuffing the weathered boards as you take in the view of ferries cutting through the waves, their wakes trailing white against the deep blue. You're in Tongariro National Park, New Zealand's oldest, where volcanic peaks carve a surreal silhouette against a sky that shifts from blue to gray with the passing clouds. You're tackling the Tongariro Alpine Crossing, a 12-mile or 19.4-kilometer comma trek across ancient lava flows, their black surfaces cracked and jagged underfoot, remnants of eruptions that scarred this land centuries ago, the air sharp with the faint acrid bite of sulfur drifting from nearby vents. Their black surfaces cracked and jagged underfoot, remnants of eruptions that scarred this land centuries ago, the air sharp with the faint acrid bite of sulfur drifting from nearby vents. You're passing steam vents hissing with heat, their plumes curling upward in ghostly wisps that sting your nose, and reaching the emerald lakes, their turquoise waters glowing like liquid jewels against the dark rock, minerals leached from the volcanic earth painting them in vivid, unearthly hues that shimmer in the sunlight. Mount Ngauruhoe looms to your side, its stark cone rising ominously. That's Mount Doom from The Lord of the Rings, its slopes steeped in cinematic legend, a brooding presence against the rugged terrain. In winter you're skiing Mount Ruapehu, the snow powdery and pristine beneath your boots as you carve down runs that weave past volcanic vents, steam curling up from the ground in faint tendrils against the cold, a wild blend of fire and ice that defines this untamed landscape. Or, you're hiking to Taranaki Falls, the trail winding through native bush thick with ferns and beech trees, their leaves rustling overhead as you reach the lookout, water crashing 66 feet, or 20 meters, down volcanic cliffs into a frothy pool below, the mist rising to cool your face with a fine, refreshing spray, the sound a deep roar that echoes through the valley. You pull into Rotorua, a geothermal wonderland where the Earth's fiery heart beats close to the surface, the air thick with the pungent, sulphurous tang of steam rising from the ground. You're at Waiotapu, wandering past hot springs that shimmer in dazzling colors, emerald green pools bubbling softly with heat, their surfaces rippling, fiery orange rims crusted with mineral deposits that gleam in the light, and sunny yellow patches steaming with a quiet intensity, each hue a testament to the geothermal forces churning below, and sunny yellow patches steaming in the sunlight, each hue a testament to the geothermal forces at work. You're standing near Pohutu Geyser as it erupts, water blasting 100 feet or 30 meters, skyward with a roar that shakes the earth beneath your feet, steam billowing into a thick cloud that drifts across the barren mineral-streaked ground, the heat brushing your skin as you watch in awe. You're biking the redwoods forest next, massive trees soaring overhead, their bark rough and reddish-brown under your fingers as you pedal along trails that wind through the grove, the air cool and heavy with the crisp, resinous scent of pine needles baking under the sun, the silence broken only by the soft crunch of gravel beneath your tires. You're soaking in the Polynesian spa's hot pools now, slipping into waters warmed by the earth's heat, steam rising in lazy curls as the mineral-rich liquid seeps into your bones, soothing every ache with its gentle warmth, the scent of sulfur faint but grounding as you lean back against the smooth stone edges, the sky above streaked with clouds. You're tasting a hangy feast, food cooked underground in an earth oven, the smoky, rich flavors of meat and root vegetables bursting on your tongue, the heat of the geothermal process infusing every bite with a primal, earthy depth that ties you to this land's ancient traditions. You ferry to Waiheke Island, a 35-minute ride from Auckland across the Hauraki Gulf, stepping into a sunlit haven of vineyards and beaches that hum with laid-back charm. You're sipping a crisp Sauvignon Blanc at Cable Bay, the wine's fruity tang sharp and refreshing on your tongue as you gaze across the Gulf, its waters shimmering under a golden sun that bathes the rolling hills in warmth, the air alive with the faint sweet scent of grapevines stretching across the slopes in neat green rows. Auckland's skyline peaks faintly in the distance, a hazy silhouette against the horizon that fades into the sea's endless blue, while rows of grapevines stretch across the slopes, their leaves rustling in the breeze. You're strolling one tangy beach now, the sand soft and golden under your bare feet, waves lapping gently with a soothing rhythm that carries the briny tang of salt water, the grains warm from the day's heat as you sink into the tranquility of this island escape. You're hiking trails that wind through bush and along cliffs, the sea unfolding below in sweeping vistas, gulls soaring overhead with sharp cries as you pause to take in the view, the breeze tugging at your clothes with a playful insistence. You're in Auckland, the city of sails, where urban energy collides with natural splendor in a vibrant, sprawling metropolis. You're at the Sky Tower, standing 328 meters above the city, walking the pergola with the world sprawling 192 meters below through the glass floor, a dizzying patchwork of streets, rooftops, and harbor waters unfolding beneath your feet, the wind whistling faintly through the structure. You're leaping off with the sky jump, the air roaring past your ears as you plummet toward the ground, adrenaline surging through your veins like a lightning bolt until you slow to a stop, dangling above the bustling streets with an amazing harbor view and a grin splitting your face. You're ferrying to Rangitoto Island, the boat cutting through the Hauraki Gulf as you disembark to hike volcanic trails strewn with black lava rock, their surfaces rough and pitted underfoot, the air thick with the mineral scent of cooled magma as you climb to the summit, the gulf stretching out in an endless blue shimmer below, dotted with islands that fade into the haze. You're wandering Viaduct Harbor now, yachts bobbing gently against the docks, their sails flapping in the breeze as you stroll past rows of restaurants, the air rich with the scent of sizzling seafood and the salty bite of the sea. You're tasting fresh oysters, their briny flavor bursting on your tongue as you sit by the water, the sunset painting the harbor gold and orange, the city's lights flickering to life against the darkening sky, a vibrant pulse that ties this urban playground to its wild surroundings. You reach the Bay of Islands, a subtropical paradise of 144 islands scattered across turquoise waters that gleam under the sun. You're on a boat, gliding through the hole in the rock, a natural arch carved by the sea, the waves surging beneath with a deep resonant crash that echoes through the stone, spray misting your face with salty droplets as you pass under its towering span, the rock walls rugged and streaked with mineral veins above you. You're wandering Russell's quaint streets, colonial houses with peeling paint and sagging verandas lining the way, their wooden frames creaking with the weight of history as a seafaring past whispers through the air, thick with the briny scent of the harbor just steps away, the docks weathered and lined with old fishing boats that bob gently in the tide. You're at the Waitangi Treaty Grounds, standing on hallowed land where New Zealand's story shifted in 1840, the earth beneath you steeped in the gravity of that moment, framed by the rustle of native trees and the distant lapping of waves against the shore, the air carrying the faint, earthy scent of soil and salt. You're swimming at Pahia Beach now, the water warm and clear as it laps against your skin, the taste of salt lingering on your lips as you float, dolphins swimming nearby with graceful arcs that break the surface, their fins glinting in the sunlight. You're kayaking through mangrove-lined channels, the paddle dipping into the calm, the air humid and rich with the green scent of saltwater plants, the silence broken only by the splash of water and the occasional cry of a seabird wheeling overhead. Golly, what a journey! We hope you loved this insane New Zealand adventure with us. We took you from Milford Sound's misty cliffs to the Bay of Island's sunlit shores, cramming in every wild, unforgettable spot we could find. Where are you racing off to first? Let us know in the comments below. And here's the secret we promised. You're heading to a secret glowworm cave near Rotorua, coordinates 38.2527 south, 176.3361 east. Picture stepping into a cavern where millions of tiny lights glow like a living galaxy, a secret so stunning locals guard it fiercely. Grab your gear and track it down. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and we'll see you on the next epic ride. Safe travels.